comes today in Luxembourg with a clear message. We need to continue to increase the pressure on Russia, increase the sanctions. Romania has also been targeted in terms of cyber attacks by pro-Russian hackers. We have had throughout March and the beginning of April more than 8,800 attack points in essential websites and IT infrastructure such as of the Parliament, of the Stock Exchange, Transportation Ministry, and also our own Ministry of Foreign Affairs on the visa application platform. So we're going to advance in line with potential sanctions against hybrid attacks. We have also decided to host in Bucharest the NATO seminar on hybrid threats to be able to have a better coordination as well as with NATO and in the European Union on how we analyze, coordinate and respond to such type of hybrid interferences. Obviously, now we're at a moment in time where we all hope we're going to move from a European Union of 26 plus 1 to a European Union of 27. And we think it's very important now that we accelerate the progress and we have a final decision on opening the Cluster 1 for Republic of Moldova and Ukraine. We believe this to be our best defense. We have already lost too much time on this. And any delay in key decisions of the European Union actually have a geopolitical cost in our influence in the region, have a direct cost in how the citizens of those regions are connected to the European path and the European plans. I welcome the presence of Lebanon Prime Minister today. I have spoken with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan on how the conversations are going. We welcome the current ceasefires. Romania has joined the coalition and the conversations initiated by France and UK in terms of opening the Strait of Hormuz. We believe it is very clear now to the international community that the Strait of Hormuz is not a private lake of ERGC. It's an essential artery of the global commerce. Our citizens feel that directly in their pockets in terms of increase on the energy prices, and we want to make sure together that we have the common diplomatic instruments to de-escalate that. In terms of Lebanon, we have already sent our first batch of humanitarian aid in partnership with Jordan, and we will continue to do that through the European mechanism as well with countries that want to participate alongside us. In terms of the South Caucasus, I have had conversations with the Ministers of Foreign Affairs of Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia. In terms of Georgia, I have conveyed a very clear message on the Romanian and the European side in terms of the need for reforms on the judicial system of protection of accurate democratic processes. But we need to also continue to create an alternative to the pro-Russian influence there, an alternative that is very clear in terms of economic growth, in terms of connectivity, especially for us at the Black Sea, that's even more important with Azerbaijani. The message that I'm going to convey today to my colleagues is also connected to the key role they play in the energy infrastructure and connectivity, as well as Armenia. Connectivity is a key factor to our relationship with the region, and of course the path towards a European future, towards the European Union, is connected to the decisions we are taking now that are felt directly by citizens there in terms of economic benefits. I'm sorry, there was a question there before.
Yeah. Minister, you already mentioned that you had a conversation with Georgia. Can you tell us more details what was told from the side of Georgia? And what will be today your message in the meeting room regarding Georgia and Georgia's people's needs and want to become a European family member?
Sure, I have said this many times, and it is exactly the same message I have told to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, that we believe the Georgian people are connected to the European dream. We have stated, and I have stated again, the need for that dialogue to restart, for that path to restart, but also that reforms are needed in order for that to happen, that leaders of opposition that have been thrown in jail actually need to be facing an actual justice system, not to use the justice system as an instrument to interfere with democratic processes. But we have also talked about security. This has been the main perspective of my colleague in the conversation, and about the fact that connectivity and an open dialogue, our ability to create an alternative, a pro-European alternative to the pro-Russian influence, is the way forward.
On Iran, so you just said that the Strait of Hormuz cannot be blocked by Iran, and that you would be part of an initiative, but that would be after the ceasefire. Right now, we don't even know if the ceasefire will prolong. So the situation is very, very dire and volatile. What can the Europeans do right now than just sitting on the sidelines?
Just to be clear, I didn't say Iran cannot block the Strait of Hormuz, because obviously we see they can partially block it. It's almost like the Schrödinger cat. It's both open and closed in the same time. But that being said, it doesn't have the right to block the Strait of Hormuz, because it is not a private lake. It is an absolute essential artery to the global trade. And I'm not speaking here just in terms of energy, but also in terms of agriculture, fertilizers. And here we're coordinating on the area of sanctions that are going to be able to increase the pressure for that to happen. But also there's a coordination happening in terms of what are the capabilities that we can put together after the ceasefire continues, after we have an agreement to be able to assist, for example, ships towards the Strait of Hormuz. And now I'm not speaking on behalf of Romania and our ships, I'm speaking on behalf of the coalition to support the opening of the Strait of Hormuz, where each of the country is now discussing how we can contribute at the diplomatic level and also on this side. Now, the key conclusion from the conversations I've had with the ministers in the region, and what I'm going to convey today, is that it is absolutely essential that conversations continue between the United States and Iran. And this has been the key message and the conclusion with the conversation with the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Pakistan as well, that has hosted the Islamabad talks.
Madam Minister, I want to ask you also, Georgia, don't you think that talking about sanctions further worsens the relations between Georgia and the European Union? What can you say about this?
So first of all, I think Georgia needs to revise their own decision in terms of continuing with the negotiations and the dialogue with the European Union. And it is very important to understand that although we are committed to the European future of the citizens of Georgia, and also as a neighbor of the Black Sea, we are committed to increase the connectivity to be able to build up an alternative, a pro-European alternative. We also believe that democracy functions when there is an opposition.
Do you support suspending the association agreements with Israel?
We have had conversations around this. What I think is now the priority in terms of my citizens as well is to be able to lower the pressure on the energy prices. So I believe the current priority of the global community and of the diplomatic community is the escalation of conflicts in the region. And for that matter, this is going to be the focus with the Prime Minister of Lebanon as well, and the focus of the conversations with Israel in these days. Separate from that, I have been very clear about the fact that what we have seen in the Gaza Strip, part of what we are seeing in the West Bank, part of what we're seeing in Lebanon, are not within what we consider part of the right of self-defense of Israel. The right of self-defense of Israel is very important, of course, against Hezbollah, against Hamas. We have been very clear on this. Romania has also been a strong supporter of sanctions on that side. But civilian lives need to be protected. Civilian lives need to be protected, including by those that have the right to self-defense, because that does not extend to civilian infrastructure.
Are you expecting that Ukraine is reopening the Druzhba pipeline soon, maybe today, to help to release the 90 billion package?
We believe the pipeline should be released as fast as this is logistically possible, and also that has been part of clear demands from the countries that are affected by that in terms of their energy supply. Thank you.